think it's actually been 2 days since I went to Subway, and I promised you that when I got back I was going to give you a long diatribe about education in Arizona is what it's about. It's been 2 days. Arizona's educational system is a joke. It's been pillaged by the Republicans, and unfortunately there's nothing that I can do about it. This state is a Republican state, and they have been pillaging and cutting corners on education in this state for ages. They have been promoting the charter school system, which, as you may or may not know, a charter school system is basically a school put together by people who have no qualifications to run a school. They get a charter from the state, hence the name. And then they are given a set dollar figure per child to run a school, and then parents can voluntarily put their children in that school. Therefore, it's sort of considered a public school as opposed to a private school, but because parents don't have to pay. And full disclosure, James goes to a charter school, and Chuan works for a charter school. There are a lot of charter schools in Arizona. That does not mean that they are necessarily a good thing by design. And for starters, a charter school is an opportunity for people to experiment. This is why the Republicans like them so much. It's basically a free market capitalism thing. The best school survives, the worst ones go out of business. And that's fine if it's Chipotle or the Jamba Juice down the street. You know, you open a business, you try it out, you fail miserably, and if you're a rich person, you've got deep pockets and you don't care, you just go on to your next business opportunity. They say the backbone of this country is small business. Not that those that I cited were small businesses, but they say the backbone of this country is small business. But the fact is that most small businesses fail miserably. That is the legacy of capitalism. Most businesses fail. Okay? It just is. It's speculation. And therefore, but they never look at that. It's like, oh, small businessman gets to be a big businessman, and then, yay, everyone's got jobs, happy day. Fuck you, you assholes. Most of the time, it doesn't work that way. And do we really want to be putting our schools through that system where the product, if you will, is an educated child, and a failed product is just another Republican voter? And that's the problem. Of course, that may be why they want to do it. They want to have kids be ignorant and stupid. I don't know. But they think that's a good idea. So you've got to be very careful about the charter you pick. And there is no do-over, right? If they get it wrong, your kid doesn't get to do third grade again. Well, I suppose they could, but that in itself is an extremely negative response. And it looks like a failing on the kid's part when it is not. Which is why I prefer education in safer hands outside of political and economic choices. That's me. Anyway, the state, the legislature, the governors of this state have by and large pillaged, plundered, and tried to destroy the educational system, as they have in many states. It's not just here, although teacher pay in Arizona is, 48th, 49th, 50th, somewhere down at the bottom of the piss barrel. It's appallingly bad. And, of course, charter schools don't pay well either. And, of course, they claim that's the fault of the state because the state gives them a set amount per. And, they have to maximize their profits, so, for the owners, because that's the way this works. Anyway, there have been strikes, walkouts in several states around the country that have shitty legislators who fund education badly, and Arizona's turn is tomorrow. The Red for Ed movement. And, of course, my daughter goes to public school, and they're all shut down. They've all shut down. The teachers are all going to the Capitol for the march. Kids have the days off. And of course, the Republican legislators are all trying to solicit teachers who feel like they had to walk out or they might lose their jobs, job coercion for these liberal education people. They're considering, one of them has consulted with a, quote, lawyer to see if they can file a class action suit against the teachers so that they can, the parents who have to put up with their kids on Thursday and Friday of this week, they won't have childcare, they might have to take time off from work. And all of those are legitimate concerns, but suing the teachers who are making pathetic salaries. Pathetic salaries. These are people with bachelor's degrees, master's degrees, doctor's degrees. My wife has a master's degree. She is still making less than my retirement income. Think about that for a second. She makes less than my retirement income. She has a master's degree. She's been teaching for 15 years, on and off. Took some time off from the show as a kid, but I mean, it's appalling, and that is the state in this state, and in many states around the country. So they're taking off. What has amazed me is that James's school has decided to close tomorrow so that the teachers can participate in the Red for Ed. I honestly thought they'd just fire them if they participated. But they have decided to close the schools down because they're worried the safety of the kids. And they're trying to turn it, and maybe it's right, they're trying to turn it into the argument that says if they get more for education, maybe they'll get more for charter schools too, and therefore the education in charter schools can go up, or the profit for the owners can go up. One of the two. You have to take that with a grain of salt, but I think they recognize it. But I think, if public schools start paying better, then charter schools are going to have a harder time holding teachers, and they're going to have to pay better. So it is going to start an arms race there. And with the charter schools being so grossly favored by the governor and the legislature of this state, who knows? Either way, if my wife gets more money, that's good. If the kids get better services at their schools so that they get a better education, that's good. I am obviously 100% in favor of this, and I'm 100% against the idiots who are opposed to this kind of stuff. I'm not particularly a big union fan, but unions have been necessary in the history of this country to counteract the evil, let's call it what it is, evil of corporate greed, the pursuit of value for shareholders over all other aspects of the world. And yep, I'm on that side of the fence, and I make no apologies for it, and I'll argue it with anyone. Because I didn't always think that way. So I know what you're thinking, if you're thinking that way. And you're wrong. Anyhow, that's what's been going on. That's just been consuming all the news cycles. Tomorrow, Chuan will be at the Capitol at the protest. The governor of the state, when he heard that this might happen, popped up and said, well, I've got this plan. I'll give you 9% raise now, and I'll give you 20% after my re-election. Which, fuck you, you son of a bitch. First off, governor can't give out 9% raises. That's not the governor's job. He doesn't have the authority to do that. It has to go through the legislature. Second of all, I love how he staggered it out so it would be after his re-election, if he gets re-elected, that they would get 20%. Oh. And then he goes on the offensive in the media with like, well, I don't know what the teachers want. I mean, I told them I'd give them 9%. Hopefully we can shut this Republican legislature and Republican governor down here in the elections of 2018. And maybe we can even get some money put back into the education system. Which, by the way, there was money allocated for the education system. This was a few years ago, and they just reallocated the money somewhere else for some other project. And we had to sue the state to get them to put the funding back in. And honestly, they haven't done it. So, this is just more of the same. This is just more of the same. And that's my long diatribe on the eve of the Red for Ed wave at the Capitol tomorrow. I'm putting this in more for posterity than anything else, but okay, that was a long one. I'll probably, I don't know, I'll try to do something exciting and put it here at the end just so that it's just not me talking at you for 10 minutes. There's cricket in the background. Looks like the Chennai Super Kings have come to bat. Yep. It was between innings, so. Well, I'm driving through downtown. I've just dropped Chuan and one of the other teachers from her school off at the big protests downtown. And, well, it's a big protest downtown. It wasn't a red shirt to be had in town. That's what this is all about, the Red for Ed thing. There's thousands of teachers down here. My guess is this might be bigger than people think. I'm not sure how many people are going to be there, but I think it's going to be a lot. I think it's a lot of people. And hopefully it'll make some difference. Anyway, it's going to be 100 today. Great day to be out walking in the sun.
This is just amazing. It's for people supporting education.
Later that night, we stopped in to check out an Asian French bakery. Don't ask me how that works, but it's good bread.
No. I wouldn't mind maybe doing that.